What's going on, guys? It's your man Ed here, back for another video, and in this one I want you all to be able to listen to this live cold call that my guy Najee did just the other day, talking to this seller, actually pitching her a Novation deal. He pitched a wholesale offer. This is going to show you the benefit of having several different offers on deck, and also give you some valuable tips and tools and strategies, one-liners that you can use to actually build up rapport with sellers, actually be able to lock these deals up once and for all. You all know, like I know, the inventory is the name of the game. If you don't have any properties, you don't have anything to sell. So in this one, my guy Najee held a masterclass, in my opinion, on how to actually build up rapport, how to get these deals under contract. So I wanted to bring this exclusive, something I've never done before, an exclusive to the channel, kind of showing you that back end feel of what the business looks like and how we're out here operating, locking up deals on a daily basis. So let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead. Let's get right on into it.
Hey, coming down like precipitation. I ain't never met a...
Oh, no worries, no worries. How are you doing today, Jody?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing fantastic. I feel like $1 million this morning.
So I guess Kanye didn't steal your pillow.
No, she didn't steal my pillow. She didn't steal my pillow. Hey, she had something to prop her head up on, though, but it wasn't my pillow. Awesome.
So what's up?
Awesome. So let's talk these numbers. Let's talk these numbers. So I have some scenarios, best and worst case,
Right.
and what would work for us so that nobody's going to the soup kitchen, you know?
All right, guys, so you can see right here when Najee starts to talk about the soup kitchen, he brings up his dog Kanya, and he's basically referencing the conversation that they had yesterday. So right at the beginning of the phone call, he's making sure that he's getting right back connected to those levels of rapport that they built on the last conversation. That's going to be super, super key. Make sure that you keep reference and keep track of what you all have actually talked about and actually bring those up in future conversations. You really want them to feel like you actually care about them, that you enjoy the conversation, and that actually should be the truth.
What we're looking at is this. And I'll give you our scenario. So if we were to come in, let's say we came in at, I know originally you were looking at around 250. So
Yeah.
let's say we came in, and this is just an example for me to hit my margins. If we came in at 225 and did the 60,000 on the rehab, and we
Okay.
paid the closing costs for you, we would be all in at about 290.
Okay.
So at 290, for me to hit my margin of 15%, minimum margin, the property would need to sell for $333,500. And
Okay.
that's kind of let's keep our fingers crossed, and we do like the area, but it's not guaranteed. So what I'm looking at is this, and I think that this may work better for the both of us. Instead
Okay.
of us coming right in and purchasing the property, if we could fund the rehab, and on the front end, let's say we come in with the 60,000 to do the rehab, and
Okay.
let's say we're able to pay out 235 on the back end. So that means that we're all in at around 300,000.
Okay.
If the property sells for, let's see, 325,000, then that's even better for us because we're still making around the same amount, but we're making a significantly larger margin versus what we're putting up on the front end.
Got
So whatever it's going to sell for at the end, that number is going to be that number. Whether it sells for 320, 350, a million, that number is going to be there. We can't really predict exactly what it's going to be. So to mitigate the risk on our end, it would be beneficial to us to just come in on the rehab.
Boom. So at this part in the video, he's basically telling the seller, like, hey, look, we'd rather partner up with you versus just getting the property for a little bit cheaper, because ultimately we're going to be all in at like 300 something thousand dollars and basically make the same amount of profit as we would have if we could have came in with like $60,000. However, I think, as you may see coming up here soon, that's not the ideal scenario for the sellers. They kind of just want to get off and like out of this property. They've had it for over a year. They don't really want to think about it much longer.
So let me know what that sounds like to you, in regards of what you all are looking at. Because I know you all aren't really in a rush to sell it, but you do have some other things that you're invested your interest in, and it would be a great relief to have this one off your hands. Am I correct?
Um, I mean, I wouldn't say great relief. I would say it would be nice.
Okay. Okay. I see.
Um, so when you say come in on the rehab, and I'm going to an appointment, so please you have my attention. I'm just kind of rushing around here. So when you say come in on the rehab, are you guys coming in and using your people and you do the supplies and you do the whole thing?
Yes, we
Or
would do
are you
we would do the whole thing.
we
We would partner with you. You wouldn't have to spend any money. You wouldn't have to lift a hammer or drill a screw. You
got
wouldn't have to do anything. We would come in and do the full rehab. We would get the property listed, and with you being an agent, maybe even you could list it. So,
I mean what that's the whole deal,
right,
not pay someone else.
and keep it all in
And like you
house.
said, women.
Right,
So
but
so okay, so the price would be 235. Is that what you're saying?
yes, yes, on the back end, yes, ma'am.
Like 235 on the back end, or like when do we get the 235 and when would you guys come in?
So we would you would get the 235 when it sells on the market, and we would come
Okay.
in essentially we would come in on the rehab with the 60,000. So we would fund the rehab up front, list it, sell it, you get your 235, and then we get whatever's left. So even if it only sells for 310 or 320, we would still make 10 or $20,000 that month, which would be ideal for us, versus putting up, between 290 to 300,000 to make the exact same thing.
Yeah. Okay. So let me ask you a few questions.
Now, as you can see, the Novation deal has actually piqued her interest. She sounds very interested in trying to get more details. Like, how does this actually work? How will we actually partner up on doing something like this? When you start to throw in some additional offers versus just that lowball wholesale offer, you start to pique their interest and you start to get a lot more flexibility a lot of times.
Okay.
So the whole one thing with this is that my husband and I have gotten divorced, and our HELOC is at 250. We'd like to pay that HELOC
Got
down.
you. Okay,
Get it?
okay.
Boom. So in the conversation that they had the previous night, this seller did not mention that they had a HELOC on their property. A HELOC is a home equity line of credit, meaning that they had a mortgage on it potentially, or they had equity in their property, enough equity to where they can go take out a line of credit. So they just told Najee that they actually owe $300 or $250,000 on the HELOC, which means that would be the minimum amount of money that we would have to pay to actually be able to take ownership. Now watch what happens here.
So now let's
Okay.
okay. So now I need to put on another thinking cap because you gave me another problem to solve, and I'm great at solving problems. So
Okay.
now that I have that information, my approach to this is going to change a little bit, and I do need to speak with my partner because I
Okay.
never, I can give you a hypothetical situation, but I can't really give any guarantees without speaking to him. So now that I know that you need 250, um, let me see. Let me talk to him and see if he wants to take it because we could agree to that. Like we could take that risk, and the risk is on us. So I mean, even if we break even or if we make money, I don't ever want you to feel bad or anything like that. This is all on us. This is us looking at a deal saying, hey, at this number we want to get in. So
Right.
if it's on us and we agree to pay you the 250, then that's what you're going to get, whether the house sells for 300,000 and we break even, or if it sells for, you know, $1 million and we get lucky. So
Right.
I do like that area. I definitely appreciate the conversation with you yesterday on just you breaking down how the area is more of like a checkerboard. That really
Yeah.
helped out a lot with our assessment. So let me go back to the drawing board on this. What would you need in regards to, you need the 250 for the HELOC, and then we would be able to fund the rehab on the front end and pay you the 250 on the back end once it sells?
I mean, that would be, you know, I need to talk it over with him. He and I have a great relationship, so it's not they were going through this tumultuous divorce and we
Okay, I'm fully on.
so because you know a lot of times when you hear divorce, it's like people think it's a fire sale, because sometimes it is, but in this case it's not. So yeah, so let's work it out with your partner and you know, see if we can agree. I'll talk it over. Well, I won't talk it over with my ex until we come up with something else. So let's keep all the scenarios painful because I mean, first of all, it's fun. Second of all, you know, we want to work with you guys.
Awesome.
It would be nice to have it done. So let me speak to him and we can go from there.
So after
Okay.
this initial conversation, the seller actually ended up calling back earlier than expected, giving us some good news on the property. Let's check it out.
So, I talked it over with my husband, and we kind of went back and forth because, like I said, we're not really in a rush. So, what he said is, we talked about the 225, we talked about, you know, all the different scenarios, and he was like, you know, I'm sure these guys are legit, I'm sure they're great guys, but it makes me leery having people we really don't know, we've never worked with before, going in there to do the rehab. Suppose they screw something up, suppose something happens. It just makes me a little nervous because I don't know these people, neither do you. I said, I understand. And I'm sure you understand that too. You know? So he said, and you know, we talked about, we factored in commission and all that stuff. And basically he said, if the price is 225, and you know, a couple of things about that 225, and anything is fine. Are you guys going to come in, fly in, and inspect it, or are you guys going to do anything else, or and we're fine with that. Everything's been done to code, and my husband's a perfectionist. Our inspections always come out clean. So, for buyers. So, is it 225, you cut us a check, or is it 225, you guys come down, mill around, this and that, and then you guys decide, or how does the 225 work?
So essentially, we would send you a purchase and sale agreement with the 225. We would ask for an inspection period with a 30-day close. And our inspection period gives us the time just to do our due diligence to make sure that it's worth it. You know, maybe we go in, and I trust you totally 100%. But let's say worst case scenario, we go in and the foundation is just ruined, and we have to put in a new foundation. Then we wouldn't take it on at that price. So we just need to come in and make sure that everything is above board and that it's just as you say it is. And like I said, I do trust you 100%. But this is just our standard procedure. So we would inspect it. We would submit our earnest money once the inspection is approved to let you know we have some skin in the game and we're serious. And then we will be closing within 30 days of you signing the PSA.
Okay. So, that being said, we did the numbers. We have paid down the HELOC significantly. So
Awesome.
it's not 250 anymore.
Okay, that's great.
Great news for all of us. So we can make 225 work.
Let's fucking go.
Okay, Okay, awesome.
So as you can hear in my excitement in my voice, this is the number that we were originally trying to get the seller to, and we wanted to get them on a wholesale offer. However, sometimes you have to let the sellers know that you're really an advocate for them, that you're really looking out for them. Trust and believe, guys, whatever decision that we made, whichever option that we chose, we were going to make money. We want to let the sellers know that they have options, that they're not just locked into this lowball wholesale offer. And this is why I want to show you all this video, so you can see that when you have several different offers on deck, it actually makes the process of locking up the deal at the price that you need it at a lot smoother. And as you all heard, that HELOC was not as high as they thought it was. So they were saying it was 250. Lo and behold, apparently it's significantly less than that, because I'm sure that they wouldn't be trying to sell us the entire property for 225 and not make any money off of it just to get the HELOC paid off. That's not realistic. So realistically, they've already paid down that 250,000 a lot, and then they're still going to be making some profit by selling us the property at 225. Let's continue.
I love the sound of that. So let's do this. What I'd like you to do is just text me your best email address, the name that you want the purchase and sale agreement to go in. I'll get that drafted up for you today, and I'll send that out. And as soon as I get that out to you, I'll send you a text message just to let you know it's in your email.
Boom. So as you can see, Najee immediately starts talking about contracts. He's immediately like, look, what's your best email address? Let me get this stuff sent over to you. Speed is key. When you've got sellers on the hook, you need to lock them in immediately. You have to reel them in. Don't just leave them there. Don't wait 2, 3, 4, 5 days until you're sending a purchase and sale agreement. You've got to move quick while their emotion levels are high. When they're ready to go, get them locked up immediately.
Okay. And also, from today, how long would you want your due diligence to be?
We asked for 14.
We asked
for 14 days.
14 days? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, yeah, because I just wanted to confirm that it's not longer than that, and that we could be doing work on it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay, well, good. So let's do that. I'll text you the email.
Okay.
And, let's see what else. So just text you the email and say,
just your email, the name that you want the agreement to go in, and we'll get started on that for you today.
Perfect. Okay, well, great. Thanks so much. I'm
Awesome.
glad we could make it work.
Yes,
and I'm
ma'am.
glad me and I discussed the current numbers.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and I'm glad that you're one of the I would say the few real estate agents that's actually realistic out here. You know, because I'd say probably 70 to 80% of agents really don't even use the license properly. So
Yeah.
a lot of it is like a paperwork fashion show. Like, hey, I'm an agent. Okay, how many deals have you closed this year? But you're running around with your agency. So it looks like you're out here. You know, you're doing good business. You know the area, and you got some serious skin in the game. I'm glad to work with you, and I'm looking forward to getting this deal done.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad, I had time to talk it over with him, go over the numbers, and I think at that price, everybody would be fine with it.
Awesome.
All right, one more thing.
Okay, perfect. That sounds great.
All right, well, great speaking with you, and we'll talk soon.
All right, thank you so much, Jody. Talk to you soon.
No problem. All right,
Bye-bye.
Boom!
And just like that, we got one locked up.
Just like that, baby. So that was it, man. That was the end of that conversation. We actually had another conversation with the seller since then, just kind of like a more recent update. Since we recorded that video live, we've had another conversation with the seller. We actually had to renegotiate that deal to $230,000 is what we pay for the property, and then the seller is going to be paying their own closing costs, because on the first one we agreed to pay their closing costs. So we're more than likely going to be trying to do a double close on this deal. We're probably going to try to sell it for like 240 to 250, maybe 255, something like that on the back end, which is gravy for us. We'll definitely take it. This is actually a deal that one of our buyer callers found. She was out there calling buyers for deals that we had in New Orleans, and this deal actually came around where this person didn't want to buy the property that we had out in New Orleans. They actually wanted to sell several properties, and this property being one of which, so we may have more opportunities to get more properties from this person afterwards. There's always a motivation level, guys. With this person in particular, they were in the middle of a divorce. Now, they don't have like a messy divorce situation or something like that, but they've also had this particular property for over a year. So several different things that were at play on this particular deal, and you have to be able to leverage those things for your benefit and your company's benefit. You got to be able to play on those strings. You've got to be able to get your way. In fact, when we were getting the property under contract for $230 with them paying the closing cost, they tried to counter back like $235 or no deal, something like that. We told them, hey, look, you go ahead and do your thing. And he referenced back to the soup kitchen analogy that they had earlier in that conversation. Like, look, I don't want to be going to the soup kitchen, da 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 da. Boom, she calls him back, lets him know like, hey, look, I was just hangry. Look, now they're apologizing. We called their bluff, and now they're right back at the table. Sometimes you got to strong arm these deals, guys. You got to be willing to walk away. Anyway, though, guys, man, I hope that this video has been helpful and effective in helping y'all get to the bag out here, man. If so, make sure that y'all hit that like button for me, man, and make sure that you drop me a comment down below. Let me know, is this video a W or an L? And if y'all want to do deals together, we do deals nationwide with wholesalers, guys. Check out the link down below. There's going to be a form. You can submit any deals that you have right now, anywhere across the nation, any asset class, and we can help you get those deals closed, guys. We've literally got like 5 or 6 JV deals in the pipeline right now, as well as our own acquisition. So we got a lot of stuff going on right now, and I would love to be able to break some more bread with more subscribers, more people that watch this channel. Let's get out here and do it the strong arm way, y'all. I'm ready to rock and roll with y'all. So, man, anyway, I ain't gonna hold y'all up, man. I hope that y'all staying healthy and blessed as always. And until next time, guys, we are out.